Hey guys, hope you're all doing great today. We're doing something different today, um, from what you're used to, my gameplay stuff. Today we're gonna go through the news that Blizzard has dropped on Phase 2. It dropped a couple of days ago, been a bit busy, so I want to cover it today. I've avoided looking at anything, so this will be like my first time seeing it, first time hearing it, all this kind of stuff. I'm hoping if you've like watched my streams, there's two runes that I want for Warrior. We're gonna see what comes out of it. They might not say what runes are being added. Maybe just I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. So we're gonna go through the video. If there's any points I want to talk about, I'll pause, talk about them. But I try not to pause too much. But we'll kick it off. I don't want to drag it out too long. I want to kick it off, and we'll go through this together. So the first thing is
Hello there. Thank you,
Nome
Lenny, for that
Yagan, Nome
introduction.
yeah.
I'm Tim Jones, the assistant lead game designer on World of Warcraft Classic, and it's my pleasure to talk to you more
I'm
and give
guessing
you
this is
a,
gonna
a
be the
sneak
raid.
peek at Nomergon, the second level up raid in Season of Discovery, and the raid content that you'll be participating in at level 40 in Phase 2. Let's get into it.
If a webcam is in the way of
So,
anything, I'll try
much
and move it.
like Black Fathom Deeps,
Oh, it's already in the
Nomergon
way.
will be a
Okay.
10-player raid.
Yeah.
There will be 6 bosses. There were originally 5 bosses in Nomergon if you didn't count the Dark Iron Ambassador. So there's one more new boss that no one's ever fought before. And of course, redesigns from the ground up on
Actually, you
all
know
of
what?
the
Hold
other
on.
bosses. So brand new experience
Okay.
overall. A
That
ton
should
of
be
new
safe.
rewards and items, more epics than we had in Black Fathom Deeps, with more sources, different bosses than just the last 2 bosses dropping those. New item sets for classes to pursue. The quests and rewards have been brought up to level 40, and there's a brand new profession quest chain that leads into a pretty deep opportunity for people to find materials and craft a lot
I
of
wonder if
really
it's just
cool and
one
powerful
professional or like
items.
a bunch.
Josh will get into that more down the line. But some of the play spaces have had some changes. For people who aren't familiar with the Grubbus and Chomper encounter, you might notice that there are some radiation vents that weren't here. Those will perhaps play a part in this encounter. Crowd Pummeler
I hope it's not annoying.
is now in a
This looks
different part
cool.
of the instance. I
I
wonder
like the
what
little
kind of
crowds.
mechanic, something that punches you really hard, might have to do with being on a platform above a.
Hold on. I wonder if these crowds are gonna be like interactive. You know how like in BFD when you fight the Murloc and it summons all the shadow Murlocs? I wonder if like the crowd just comes in and starts trying to pummel you or something like that. That'd be kind of funny.
Pit of death, who knows? um and there's a lot of excited onlookers ready for you to take on this robot. And Psychothermoplug, last boss of the instance, may have added some additional mechanical suits with different properties to his arsenal, and you'll have to face off against
Looks
those as
interesting.
well. Getting into a preview of the
Ooh.
exciting.
Hold on now, let me look at this. Some some gear pieces. This is all leather? No, okay. So fist weapons, so maybe fist weapons are gonna be more of a thing. Maces. I'm not gonna read through them. You can have a read through pause as well if you like to. I'm just gonna have a quick look over them. That mace though, 22 strength, 8 agi. Oh wait, it's only for paladins and shamans and druids. 69 attack power and cat bear. Oh my lord, druids, you're gonna have a good time. I'm telling you right now. Increase your attack speed by 50% for 30 seconds. That on top of 69 attack power, like in cat form. Damn. Okay, that
Loot.
mace looks good.
There's some nods to old items. I think
Plus,
the
if you use the
one
hand,
people will notice is the automatic
the leather
crowd pummeler.
hands.
No longer will
Increase
you
mace
have to
by plus
get
5.
individual manual crowd pummelers. You'll be able to pick up one and then use it over and over again with the cooldown. So hopefully that's a great quality of life improvement. There's
Looks pretty
also
good.
some fun items that you can pick up. The Trog Transfigurator 3000, little Orb of Deception
Nice.
style transforming into a Trog. Aragriar's Whimsical World Warper. Play around with it, see where it takes you in the world,
That's pretty cool.
and some fun cosmetic items as
1
well.
armor. Nice.
Here's a
Okay,
look at
that's
our
funny.
set items. You can see that some set items actually have
Plate.
specific set bonuses for
Okay, hold on, hold on,
some
hold on. So the plate is what I'm interested in, and the mail being like the warrior main I am. So 13 strength, 12 stam. That's just legs though. Improved chance to get a critical strike with melee range attack spells by 1%. So the set increased defense by 7, 16 attack power, and then the chance to hit by 1%. That's pretty good. Uh the chainmail one's pretty interesting. 24 attack power. I'm guessing that's more like a hunter thing? Yeah, attacks have a 5% chance of restoring 100 mana. That's pretty cool. I have been getting into mages recently, but I don't know too much about them still. I'm still trying to learn them. But 100% armor for 2 set. Uh, spell to cast. Chances on spell cast to increase your damage and healing. 40 for 10 seconds. That's pretty good.
classes.
Some good stuff.
And we also have tokens now that will drop instead of having a gigantic loot list that contains all of the set pieces, and you're getting frustrated if the same set piece drops for a different class every week. We've introduced set piece tokens that can be used by everyone for a
Interesting.
specific piece of
That's
your
actually pretty
armor.
cool.
So you can pick if whoever loots the boot token will be able to turn that into a vendor to redeem it for their set piece boots. With Nomuragon, there's a couple updates that we're making to dungeons.
Interesting.
The
Okay.
first of which are the addition of quality of life skill books. These are skill books that have a chance to drop off of certain creatures in 5-man dungeons, and they add significant quality of life spells to your arsenal that
Right.
don't take up a rune slot. So we're excited for people to get their hands
Oh,
on
just like
these, and
runes, but
hopefully these solve
not
some
runes.
problems that players have been facing.
This is basically they've added new skills into the game, and instead of like reaching a certain level or something, I guess to get it, you have to find a book or something. You have to find this item to learn it. Pretty cool.
Such as short aura durations with paladin blessings, totem control as shaman, rogues being able to have a spell that allows them to manipulate what target their combo points are on, as well as
That's pretty
many,
good.
many others that
Do you
we're
know how to
excited for
move combo
players to
points? That's
find
pretty
when
good.
they jump into phase two. And I'd like to pass off the presentation to Nora to talk
Oh,
more
here
about
we
rune
go. This is
abilities.
what I'm
Thank you
looking
very
for.
much.
Let me see. Come on now,
Hey, my name's Nora Valletta, and I'm a lead software engineer on Royal
Nora.
Classic.
Don't let
The
me down.
team is very excited for you to head out and find those new rune abilities coming soon in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery.
Yep.
I'm here to give you a sneak peek at some of those abilities,
Give me what
so
I'm
let's
asking
dive
for,
in.
please. Warrior.
Paladins.
Fuck.
Sheath of Light will cause damage dealt with your melee weapon to also increase your spell power. It'll also cause your critical heals to apply an additional heal over time on the target. Guarded by the Light will cause your melee weapon hits to restore mana over time. However, the amount healed by Flash of Light, Holy Light, and Holy Shock will be reduced by half.
Oh, damn. Wait, hold on. I know she read it, but I just need to see it myself real quick. Dealing damage with your melee weapon increases your spell power by an amount equal to 30% of your attack power for 1 minute in addition. Okay. Again, I'm not too familiar with paladins, so that one does sound pretty good. The guarded by light, It is good. 5% of maximum mana per 3 seconds. But then the whole healing thing. So maybe that's a DPS thing and not more of a tank
Hunters.
thing.
Melee Specialist is a passive ability which will reduce the cooldown of Raptor
Raptor
Strike,
Strike.
cause it to trigger
Oh, Hunters,
instantly,
okay.
and each usage of Raptor Strike has a chance not to trigger its cooldown. Melee Specialist will also remove the cooldown of Mongoose Bite. Trap Launcher allows you to place traps at any location within 40 yards
That's
and
nice.
allows you to
Okay,
place
I
your
like
traps
that.
while in combat.
Oh, okay.
Additionally, your
Yep.
fire-based and frost-based traps have separate shared cooldowns.
Nice.
Warriors.
Oh, here we go.
Rallying Cry is a defensive ability which can be activated to increase the health of all party and raid members within 40 yards. Blood Surge gives some of your abilities a chance to make your next slam instant and cost no rage.
Oh,
Rogue
go, go, go,
to
go,
make
go.
your next slam.
I don't care about any of these. I'm gonna be honest. Rallying Cry, I just never used it, man. Like, I'm sure it's good. Okay, and maybe I'll start trying to use it a bit more. Because I'm sure that's gonna be like a tanking thing. I don't know. Heroic Strike, Bloodthirst, Whirlwind have a 30% chance to make a next slam. And that's pretty cool. Cost no rage. I'm gonna just re-say it now, in case anyone that doesn't, see it in the streams. The 2 runes I want for Warrior, okay? I want Shield Block to work the way it does in Classic Lich King or just Lich King, whatever, where it blocks multiple attacks for duration or a certain amount of attacks, whatever it is. And I want Revenge to hit 2 to 3 targets. I'm happy with 2, 3 would be great. I want Warrior to have some good rage generation, some good AoE. Just because of the fact, if we get the shield block to work the way it does in Lich King, paired with the skill that gives you rage per block, right? You're building a lot of rage. You can spam your revenge, which is doing AoE damage. It's also generating threat through more than one target. You can do cleave, thunderclap, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all I'm asking for. They haven't showed it. That's fine. Hopefully on the 8th in 3 days, we will see it. I'm waiting.
Slam instant and cost no
I
rage.
just had to say that. I had to get off my chest.
Rogues. Use Shuriken Toss to throw a shuriken at your enemy, dealing damage to your target and up to 4 additional nearby targets.
That's good.
Master of Subtlety causes
One combo
attacks
point.
made while stealthed and for a short time after exiting stealth to cause additional damage. Priests. Cast
Shuriken
Mind
toss?
Spike to
That's
blast
good.
your
I
target
like
with
that.
Shadow Frost damage and apply a debuff, which increases the critical strike chance of your next Mind Blast on that target. This debuff can stack up to 3 times.
I played
And
Priest of
fan
the Hill,
favorite
so
from future expansions, Pain Suppression can be cast on a friendly target to significantly reduce their damage taken and increase their resistance to dispel mechanics for a short
that's
time.
good. Okay, I like that.
Warlocks. Invocation. When you refresh some of your damage over time effects while they have less than 6 seconds remaining, instant damage will be dealt to your target equal to 1 tick of that spell's periodic damage. So you no longer have to worry about
That's good.
refreshing your dots at the exact perfect moment. Dance of the Wicked will trigger a buff which increases you and your pet's dodge chance anytime either of you deal a critical strike to an enemy. You'll also both gain 2% of your maximum mana when
That's
that
more of the
happens.
tank rune, I guess.
Mages. Missile Barrage gives your Arcane Blast, Fireball, and Frostbolt spells a chance to reduce the channeled duration of your next Arcane Missile spell by half, reduce its mana cost to 0, and cause missiles to fire every 0.5 seconds. Chronostatic
really
Preservation is a really cool
Arcane
new
Blast
spell that
or
allows
stuff.
you to store some of your arcane, fire, and frost energy for later use. You can only hold this energy for a short time before it combusts and expires, but you can unleash it to heal a friendly target. Shamans. Maelstrom
play
Weapon
Shamans.
causes damage dealt with melee attacks to have a chance to reduce the cast time of your next Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Lesser Healing Wave, Chain Heal, or Lava Burst spell by 20%.
That sounds like a lot,
The
though.
cast time reduction can stack up to 5 times. Spirit of the Alpha is a 30-minute buff that can be cast on a friendly target to increase the threat generated by that target. You can kind of think of it like the opposite of Blessing of Salvation.
So it's like
While
a
some
tank rune.
shamans choose to battle with one weapon in each hand, others prefer to dish out devastating blows with a two-handed weapon. If that sounds like you, then we have Two-Handed Mastery. Each time you
I
strike an
think
enemy with a
lot
two-handed
of
weapon, you gain
Shaman's players have
30%
been asking
attack
for
speed
this.
with two-handed weapons for 10 seconds. Anyways, it's time for me to pass things over to Anna Resendez, who will
I
be
didn't
sharing
I
with
didn't
you
touch
some updates
PvP,
on our
but we'll
new
go through
PvP
this for the
event.
people that do
Take it
play
away, Anna.
PvP.
Can't wait for everyone to discover those new runes. They look amazing. Thank you, Nora. Hello,
I didn't
I
see
am
the rune I
Anna
wanted, but
Resendez,
I'll
and
let it
I will
slide.
talk to you about PvP. In this new level band, we're bringing a new PvP experience to you. You might have seen a little hint on our social media channels about this. So, our new PvP event is called the Blood Moon. The Blood
Nice.
Moon
Sounds
rises in
cool.
Strangleton Vale, bringing with it absolute mayhem. When Ashenvale was created, we talked about how cool it would be for the event to be triggered by player activity in the area. After going through feedback and seeing how Ashenvale played, in this event, we wanted to take a different approach and make it more predictable so you know when the battle will take place. So, the Blood Moon event will happen every 3 hours and we have a duration of 30 minutes. Believe me, you will be able to tell when the event is happening. The blood moon will shine its effect during this time and bring in a mysterious red fog to the area. During this time,
I
the
mean,
whole
for
zone
me
will
that doesn't
become
do
a
PvP,
free-for-all
I hope it
PvP,
isn't annoying. I'm trying
meaning
to quest and I can't
allies
see
and
anything.
enemies alike will be viable targets for your blood rage. Everyone that is in the zone during this time will become a target. During the event,
Well,
killing other players will allow you to earn a currency, which can be traded for various rewards. We'll talk about the rewards in a little bit. You can
I play on a
still group
PvE
up,
server, so
but
I
be
don't know if this
warned,
affects me that much.
the Blood Moon does not smile to those that battle in raid groups and will punish you for doing so. There are those, of course, who refuse to give in the thirst of the blood. If it's peace what you seek, you can opt out of the event at any time by talking to the Sandalari emissary. You will not be able to earn any rewards if you opt out, and remember that General Realm PvP zone rules will still apply. Another big difference from Ashenvale is that there won't be any PvE objectives. That said, not only should you be wary of both enemies and allies alike, you should also keep an eye out for the
Ooh,
Chosen of the Blood Loa, who will absolutely destroy you. Does Fell River ring a bell? So,
I
you
mean,
might
maybe
be
I try this
wondering,
out. It looks
how do
interesting.
I get my hands on that sweet rewards? There will be a merchant outside of Gurabashi Arena that would assist you with this.
Like that maze,
What
maybe?
about the rewards? Well, there are a dozen of new class-specific item rewards. Here are some examples of the new rewards that come with the event. Additionally, there are new quests that will help with your Arathi Basin reputation journey. Do you want to see more about the cool rewards? What about a new car? Well, okay, not exactly a car, but yes, you're seeing correctly. There will
Pretty
be
cool.
2 new faction
I like
agnostic
mounts.
mounts that you will be able to acquire related to this event. These level 40 mounts have an appearance that is completely new to the game. I hope to see you in the battlefield. And up next, Josh will join us
Hold on.
and he will talk.
As far as mounts, I know there's one that you get that can only use, I think, in like Ashen Vale or something like that, which is PvP related. I don't have that because, again, I don't touch PvP. I might try this new content. We'll see. I will focus more on the PvE stuff, get that done, and then maybe test out some PvP stuff.
to you about profession updates.
Hello, my name is Josh
Professions.
Greenfield, Senior Game
I want to
Producer
hear
on
about
WoW
this.
Classic. Let's dive right in and talk about what we're going to be doing with Professions in Phase 2. I want to start by saying that we've been really thrilled with the reception to our Professions editions in Phase 1. It was really exciting watching people sort of discover and unlock how to create your awesome, void touch leather gloves and your extra planar spider silk boots and all those things. We're going to go ahead and expand on this quite a bit for Phase 2. There will be around 20 new recipes across all non-gathering professions. This
Nice.
also includes not just leatherworking, tailoring, and blacksmithing, but also alchemy, enchanting, and engineering as well. So we want to spread the love around here. We want to make sure everyone gets something really cool this time. So that's what we're going to do. Just like in Phase 1, there will be an epic quest chain to unlock this, and we won't spoil anything about that today. You're going to have to get in the game. You're going to have to
Okay.
kind
I
of go
didn't
figure
do
out
the void
yourself.
touch
But
glove.
if you liked what we did in Phase 1, you'll probably like this too. Next, I kind of want to talk a little bit about just some of the recipes
Ooh,
here. I'm not going to go into super great detail about what each of these
let
are
me take a
and
look at
all.
these real quick. So the male is what I'll be looking at. 11 strength, 10 agi, 11 stam. That's great. The 10 intellect also will be good. All that is good for a paladin. What else is there? I'm guessing 225 will be the max. That you can take your profession this phase. So there seems to be a lot of. I think all this new stuff has this 1% chance to hit with melee and range. Uh, engage the radiation. Cause need to immediately remove all active poison. That's pretty cool. 10 minutes, nice. For warrior, that's good. Because like once you get poison or something, you gotta deal with it. Unless you do first aid stuff. But even then, it's a bit of a hassle. Where paladins can just get rid of that like instantly. Tailoring, this is good. I haven't done too much with tailoring right now. I'm currently trying to level it up with my mage. Plate, that's good. 14 stam, that's what I guess that'd be more what you're trying to get for a tank. Uh interrupt effects and spell pushback 10 seconds. It's pretty good. The ingredients list at the bottom there, quite quite a lot of stuff.
All the stats and everything like
But
that. As you can see, they're very powerful. But one thing I do want to kind of
I'm
call out
excited.
is that you'll notice that a few of the materials required are brand new materials to the game, and a lot of them are used across different professions. Some of these similar new materials. There's definitely going to be a trading and kind of economy aspect to these new professions recipes. And just like everything with Season of Discovery, we're most excited to see how players share resources and information to make these things. That's all we're going to say right now, but we think it's going to be
I'm
a
guessing this
pretty
new
fun
material
thing
is the
to
hyper
participate
conductive
in the next phase.
arcano,
A few other
whatever it
things
is.
we kind of want to talk about is alchemy and enchanting in particular. When we were looking at what we wanted to do here, we could obviously add more consumables and we can add more
20%
enchants for
increased damage and
enchanters, and
healing.
to a degree we did. There are new enchanting material recipes other than what you see here, but one of the things about these professions is that in a lot of cases they don't do a whole lot for your personal throughput. If you're one of these professions, a lot of times you can make things, and a lot of times you can make a lot of gold off of having these professions, but in terms of your actual like damage output or healing output, they don't really bring anything that you can't have someone else craft for you and bring. So that's what we wanted to try here.
I'm just gonna say about professions. My experience with WoW, I've never really bothered with professions. I've always gone double gathering, sell it on the auction house, make money, and pay people to do this stuff for me. But in Season of Discovery, I'm actually putting the time and effort in to fully level up, look into my profession stuff. So at right now, I don't know how good this profession stuff will be until I actually try it out. But I'm excited.
In particular, if you'll
It's all new
notice on the
stuff
left
to me.
side, there's this new enchanted sigil innovation. And what this basically is that this is kind of like a world buff that you can carry around in your bag and give to yourself. And essentially, it has a 30-minute duration, but also a 30-minute cooldown. So if you die early, you will lose this for at least some period of time before you can put it back on. Same thing with Alchemist here. They have the ability to make this essentially damage and healing consumable, or damage and attack power consumable, and that also restores a little bit of health and a little bit of
I do
mana.
have alchemy.
So that's just something that's a little unique for them this time, and we hope that you like these things. We're looking for feedback on this sort of stuff for future phases. So now that we've kind of gone through an overview, phase two, and some of the things that are coming in it, we do want to kind of, I guess, hit a few of like the frequently asked questions that
They're
we've
gonna be
gotten
new
recently
armor set.
about things in
Like I mean,
phase one,
rune
and
armor
some of the
pieces, or is it
issues
just the
that
same
have popped
three?
up, and how we're addressing those, as well as just some curiosities about what else is coming in phase two and how specific things will work. So we're going to dive into a few of these kind of FAQ items and try and burn through as many of them as possible,
Yep.
to give you a better idea of kind of
Hit me with
what's
them.
going on and what our thought process on some of this stuff is. So let's just go ahead and hop right in. We will start today talking about raid schedule.
Okay.
You
I thought it
know,
was
we
gonna be
thought we'd start
Scarlet
here because this is a
Monastery.
pretty hot debate in the community
I don't know
right
why.
now. We've seen a lot of great feedback on this and have weighed a great many perspectives about, kind of when we should release the raid. Should we have it available from day one, or should we wait maybe a week or some other amount of
A week
time
would
to
be good,
unlock it globally at the same
so
time?
people aren't,
While it's
stressing.
impossible, we feel, to do something that will make every single person happy, we do think we can strike a bit of a compromise here. We understand that the server or world first race is not just about who can zone in first. If the say if the raid unlocks at an arbitrary global time, and for a large group of players, that it's also about who can get in the fastest after leveling, and it's very exciting for them to see what they can do when they're under geared or maybe without their full toolkit of
I mean, that
runes
is true.
and other like pre-raid items.
It
And
that is
so,
fun.
that is one argument we've heard in favor of not delaying it, and we think it's a very compelling one. It is very exciting to participate in that and to watch that. On the other hand, though, if you're one of those players, the many players who really like to take their time leveling, we realize that that 3-day lockout puts you in a position where you may miss several lockouts before you hit 40. And while it's pretty unlikely to
I mean,
actually
that is
matter all
me.
that
I
much in
take
the
my
long
time.
run,
I'm a
as
bit
you will
slow.
have plenty of lockouts this phase, it does still feel kind of bad. And one of the things we wanted to avoid with this season was too much feeling of FOMO. So, by way of a compromise, what we're
I only recently learnt what FOMO means. I'll just say that. I'm gonna out myself.
looking at doing this time is we will not delay the opening of the raid, but we will be putting the first two lockouts on kind of a normal weekly lockout timer. So that means that would reset on like Tuesday in North America, Wednesday in Europe, and so on and so
Okay,
forth,
fair
whatever
enough.
your regional unlock time or reset time is. This means that the first lockout will occur on February 13th, again in North America, in the morning with maintenance. And then the second will occur the following Tuesday on February 20th, again in North America, in the morning with maintenance. So each region you can offset for your regional maintenance time. What this allows us to do is, if enable folks who really want to push day one to get in as fast as possible and get that first, like world first or server first clear, or just the bragging rights of saying you did it first. That's something that we don't want to take away from you. But this also reduces the number of lockouts that are possible in that time period, so that players who are leveling a little bit more casually or a little slower pace may not feel like they missed out on as much. It's not a perfect solution, and that's one thing we really want to stress, is that when you deal with a game like World of Warcraft and on this scale, there's no objectively correct answers.
I think this
There
is a
are
good thing
every decision
from
we
my
make,
point of
there's going
view.
to be people who like it and there's going to be people who would prefer something else. But we feel that this acknowledges both major perspectives without really
Like you said,
depriving
obviously
either
they
group of
can't
something
meet
special.
everyone's
So
needs, but
we really hope that
this
that
is a
you
good
like
way,
it,
I
and we're
think,
going
of
to keep
doing it.
looking at feedback on this. If this is something that works out well, we may carry this forward into future phases, and if not, we may just go back to the drawing board and try something else. But we really, really, really appreciate the ton of feedback we've gotten from the community on this. We've been watching social media, we've been watching forums, we've really been watching a lot of the commentary on
If you're
this, and
watching my
we couldn't
streams, I
have
want to see those runes, big boy.
nothing we
I want
do
to see
without
them.
looking at and listening to what you guys are saying. So thank you so much for that. Next thing we want to talk about a little bit is PvP matchmaking. We realize that it can be frustrating to get matched against.
He might address this in a second. I'm just gonna say I don't do PvP, but I've heard a lot of complaints about what they call like pre-made groups going into a random group. It's like, for example, people getting like a full group of people they know, and they get put with a bunch of randoms, and they just completely wipe the whole game. It's easy, you know. That is that's all I know about. You might address this.
Matched against a
I'll
full
keep quiet.
pre-made when
There we
queuing
go.
solo.
Pre-made. That's what it's
However, we
called.
do still have significant concerns about completely bifurcating PvP queues into a separate PvP or small group queue. What this means essentially is if you're in a group of 5 or less, you'll have a dramatically higher chance to also get matched against groups of 5 or less. And if you're in a group of 6 or more, same deal, you'll have a higher chance to get matched against larger groups or full groups. If the queues are long or the matchmaker can't find a good group that fits within these parameters after a certain amount of time, it'll abandon these rules and go ahead and match you with the first available so you can at least play a game. But by and large, we feel that this will help the situation a lot for those who just kind of want to queue up solo or just with a few friends and not feel like they're always going against a pre-made. We do want to stress again, though, that we firmly believe that activities like PvP Battlegrounds are just more fun and less stressful when players group up and coordinate. We can understand that if you just want a PvP
What if you
and you
like
don't
me
want
and
to
you have
join a
no
group
friends?
for it, it can be a little bit more
Hmm?
frustrating than you feel it needs to be. But ultimately, coordination within your team, whether it's a pre-made or not, is going to be
Yeah,
the
this
key to
sounds
success in
reasonable.
any activity like organized PvP when you're playing against other
Don't take my word
players.
for it though.
Even when queuing solo, we encourage you to be as positive team members and coordinate with your groups to have the best time
Yep.
possible. So next, another common question is that
Ooh,
what
leveling.
the
Okay.
leveling buff will look like. We mentioned this at BlizzCon
Leveling
that
buff.
whenever the level cap increases, we will put in a level an XP buff for the previous level band. And so what
Ah,
you can
cool.
expect,
Catch up bolts. I see.
for that. Also, we've gotten a lot of questions about what you can expect if you say you've done all the quests available to you at level 25, and what do you do for leveling it, from like 25 to 30 if you've done all those quests.
I haven't. I've been
So for the
saving.
first question, we'll be providing a flat 50% XP buff from the 1 through 25 range, so that
Nice.
if you do start a new character or a new alt, or if you have a friend that's joining in phase 2, you should be able to get caught up to level 25 fairly quickly with that buff. The other thing that we're doing in order to help the second situation where you may feel like you've done all the quests you can and you're not sure how best to level, we are going to
PFP.
make the Black Fathom Deeps raid give a
Yep.
very
That sounds
significant
good.
amount of experience when cleared
People
in
can also
phase
get
2 when
gear
you're over
that they
level
missed out on
25.
too.
It's keeping the lockout it has now, a 3-day lockout, to encourage players not to just do it every single day and engage in other
That's fair.
activities, but it will be very lucrative and worth doing as long as it
The
continues
waylaid
to give experience,
supplies
which will
though, that's
probably
pretty
be
good.
sometime into the mid or late
I wonder how
30s.
big the increase of
Lastly,
XP is.
Waylaid supplies are also seeing some adjustments. We're not quite ready to talk about the full suite of adjustments coming here because some of them are still undergoing tuning, but we are going to significantly increase the XP rewards for it, particularly in the ones from the 25 to 40 range. There will be new Waylaid supplies
What
turn-ins,
people could
and
actually
we want to
do,
make sure that
unless
they're
they,
very rewarding and they're something
um,
that you.
what people could do, unless they, find a way to fix this. Now that they see this, fill up your inventory with a bunch of field supplies right now, and then as soon as phase two comes out, hand them all in, grab that like ton of XP. That'd be pretty good. But then maybe they're gonna do something where the old supplies don't give as much as the new. I don't know. We'll see.
You want to do. And we're also looking at removing some of the frustrations from this. Again, not quite ready to talk about the full details there, but if you've had concerns with some of the frustrating aspects of them, then we're hoping to address some of those in the next phase as well. So stay tuned to look for a little bit more a little bit more information about that, and we'll have more as we get really close
As
to
of
that
right now,
for
phase 8
the
is three
phase
days
launch.
away.
A few minor adjustments to Ashenvale are coming. There will be a fewer people in Ashenvale
Did I say
specifically
phase
when the
8?
level
Phase
cap
2.
increases. So we're going to go ahead and move the event to a rigid 3-hour timer. Similar to what Anna talked about with the Stranglethorn Vale event, this will be basically be every 3 hours on the mark, and it will happen without player intervention. Do note, though, we don't want to make you choose between doing an Ashenvale battle and a Stranglethorn Vale battle. So the Ashenvale timer will be offset by 1 hour from Stranglethorn. So if Stranglethorn
Fair
starts at
enough.
noon,
That's
this will
good.
start at 1 p.m. and they should never overlap. Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that,
The
and
reason
we
I keep
hope
saying
that
phase 8
the
is
Ashenvale
because it comes
battles
out on the 8th.
continue.
But I just think the 8th,
One other
phase
thing
8.
that is kind of a common
Don't worry
question and
about it.
topic is
I'm
kind
just
of
being
what are we going to
stupid.
do with the world buffs in the next phase? Simply put, we're going to go ahead and cap them. The Ashenvale Weekly Quest world buff is going to be capped at level 39, and the Black Fathom Deeps world buff is also going to be capped at 39. So you can enjoy those while you're leveling, but once you hit 40, you'll no longer basically be able to gain the benefit of those.
Damn. Oh well.
Please also note that the
It's
Stranglethorn
fine.
Vale PvP event will not actually have a world buff this time, but Gnome are gone well. Our
Nice.
goal is really to keep each phase's
I'm
world buff
guessing you're
fun
gonna
and
have to be in
exciting,
Iron
but
Forge to get
we don't
that.
want to add too much overhead to the evolving endgame. And we don't want it to be a slog to have to go all over the world to get all of these world buffs. And especially once we hit 60, we don't want you to have to slog through going all over the world and getting every world buff. That's where we landed on that. We're obviously open to feedback on any of
That's
this.
good
So
though. Keep
please
world buffs
let us know
simple.
what you think. Profession specializations. This is another really hot topic in the community. Just like with phase one, when we capped professions at 150, with phase two, we will be
225.
capping them at
Yeah, that's what I thought.
225. And additionally, we've decided that profession specializations will also not be available until phase three. So that's when the level cap goes to 50. We feel that profession specializations outside of engineering and a few other exceptions are kind of lackluster at original WoW, and we really want to do something fun and cool here, and we really want to take our time to do it right. So for phase three, profession specializations are going to have a large focus, and obviously we're not going
I was gonna say now, I think phase 3 is gonna be 40 to 50, and then the last phase would be probably phase 4, which would be 50 to 60. That's my guess. We'll see how it actually goes though.
to talk about it now, but do stay tuned for more information on profession specializations as we move closer to phase three. Thank you. Another common question that we get that is somewhat
Oh,
frustrating
they're
to
addressing
answer simply
botting.
because
Okay.
kind of the more we talk about it, the
I,
faster bad actors can work
I
around our
have found a
efforts,
few
but
bots and
it's
reported them. They
botting
have
and
been banned,
exploitative
so that's
accounts
good.
in general. Botting is sort of a colloquial term that includes a lot of things, including just exploitative gameplay that players engage in. Um, and it has a negative impact on the game. It really does. It's something we don't like. It's something we actually hate. We spend a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to combat. And while we can't really talk about the specifics of what we're doing, we do want to talk about some really exciting new tech that's coming with phase two. We've had this in limited testing on live, both in classic of its various flavors and
Okay.
modern for quite some time. And we've seen some very
I will say it makes sense. Like every time they address botting, they say we can't say anything right now. Which, when I first heard it, like I thought, well, this is an excuse to, you know, it just means you're not really doing anything. But then I thought, it makes sense because if they say it, then the people that make these bots can then work around their fix. So if they don't say what they're doing, they can't, you know, it'll probably take them a bit longer. They will probably find a way around, but it'll take them longer to find a way to bot around it.
positive
I
results
understand.
from it. And so we want to set expectations that there's never going to be a time where World of Warcraft or really any online game is going to be completely free of bad actors and malicious accounts. But we're very positive about the results we've seen from this new tech, and we're really excited to see
You
it
know?
rolled out.
I'm
Paradoxically as
excited.
well, kind of the more
Hope it
effective
works.
we are at some of these things, the more outwardly visible the bad actors can become. A lot of times following many of our ban waves, you may actually see increased bot activity as bot farms essentially spin up new accounts and start over. But there's been a few instances of this happening. We do a large ban wave, and then everyone, I see videos posted online of streams of bots going from one part of the world to the other. But when you see that stuff and when you report it, it actually helps us clamp down on that new method as well. And it gets the bot farms into a position where they are constantly kind of 2 steps forward and like 2 steps backwards. So that is really helpful. And as much as it's frustrating to see, we
As far as us as a community, it isn't really that hard to see bots. If you see it, report it, sort it, get it done. Don't be like, oh, I don't know if it's a bot. Maybe it's someone trying to just, do something in a very weird way or something. Nah. You see it, pretty simple to find. Report it, you know. Let's get it out of here, guys. Let's get it out of
really want to
here
encourage you to just to
as much
continue
as
to
we
help us
can.
by reporting things, and we're going to continue to do exhaustive work on our side for this issue. Always a frustrating thing, never easy to talk about, but we really appreciate your patience with us. So the last topic that we really want to talk about, and this is
Orbits.
kind of a big
Oh, I
one,
heard a little something about
is just
GDKB.
jumping right into it. Starting with phase two of Season of Discovery, we're going to be experimenting with a new policy change. GDKP will no longer be permitted in Season of Discovery.
I'm just gonna say, I hate GDKP. Okay, I probably might be in a minority there. I think I've heard a lot of big streamers say that they like it. They got their first, good pieces of gear from doing it. I just don't like it. It's one of the reasons that put me off from like trying to hit 60 in classic because all I'm seeing spammed in the Stormwind chat is GDKPs. I'm just like, I just want to, have fun, go in there, do it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. But then there's people out there that do like it, so it's gonna suck for them. But my personal opinion, I just don't like them.
Discovery Realms.
It's not
And
for
to
me.
kind of recap, for anyone who does not know what GDKP or gold bid raids or dungeons are, it's essentially a raid or a dungeon run where the loot rules uh, is that all loot that is distributed is essentially purchased with gold. So an item will drop. It's then put up for bid by the loot master or whoever's doing the loot, and interested parties then bid gold for the item. When the highest bid wins, and when the gold is received, it's split within the participants of the raid. This is something we've been discussing for a very long time on WoW Classic, and it's not a decision we've arrived at lightly. It's fair to say that GDKP has some benefits to individuals who don't want to be tied to a traditional guild or set raid schedule, and GDKPs are, while largely transactional, another social activity in the game, and we're always hesitant to discourage anything that gets people in groups and playing together. However, we do remain concerned that GDKP erodes traditional guild and social structures that are in many cases the basis of our most fond memories of original World of Warcraft. And it's undeniable that GDKP contributes to and drives a lot of malicious accounts, illicit activity, RMT.
I wouldn't know about that because I wasn't. Just to inform people, I've been playing WoW for just over a year. I mostly started on retail, and then a couple of months after, tried out bits here and there on classic and classic Lich King. So I'm not all too knowledgeable about that kind of stuff, how it worked back in the day. But at the same time, this is probably not like the best fix, but maybe. I mean, this could just be me being like naive here. Maybe stopping GDKP will make people buy gold less, possibly. Because what else would you want to buy gold for, except stuff on the auction house? I don't know. I'm just saying it might be a thing.
Botting all the
It might
things
do
we just
absolutely
talked about.
nothing when it comes to buying
Season of
gold.
Discovery is highly experimental in its nature,
But we'll see what
and we
happens.
take chances, and this is another chance we're taking. We want to give an honest try to a version of World of Warcraft without GDKP present, and this is our best opportunity.
Well, so that's the thing, okay? I just want to say Blizzard are trying to do something. It might not be the right thing. Usually, I'm not the one to always defend Blizzard because they make stupid stuff. Don't get me started about Overwatch, all right? But or Diablo. Um, but they're trying something. It might not be right, but at least they're trying something. And if it doesn't work, hopefully they'll fix their mistakes.
For that. So as of the launch of Phase 2 on February 8th, GDKP will no longer be permitted in Season of Discovery. We're going to release additional communications with another FAQ to kind of go with this FAQ, talking about this. And once we do, we'll have that posted on forums and stuff. We'd really like to hear what you think, and we're going to really monitor feedback closely on this. This is a test, and ultimately this decision came as a result of your feedback. And so we want to hear more of what you think of this. We want to hear how it goes as we move through this next phase. And if it doesn't work out, we'll revisit this policy for future phases. We
At
really
least they're
appreciate
willing to
everyone who has
relook at it.
expressed that feedback and concerns on this topic. Thank you. So with that, I think we're done with today's presentation.
Is there going to be any
Thank you
accidental
so
leaks?
much. Heartfelt thanks from the WoW Classic development team. We've been just actually blown away by the reception to Season of Discovery. We are thrilled that so many of you have been enjoying it as much
How long
as
is
we
left?
are, and we can't wait
Okay.
to see you in Phase 2. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Be good to each other. Goodbye.
Okay. So that's that. So the runes, not what I was expecting, but there is some good runes for other classes, so that is good. As far as the warrior, I mean they're okay. I want something better though. I want what I've asked for, but we'll see if that actually comes out on the 8th. The raid stuff looks pretty good. I'm excited for it. Um, that mace that I talked about, that for like a feral druid, you're gonna have a good time. Um, but yeah, I think this whole video all around was pretty solid. There's some good bits. PvP stuff I don't know too much about, but from what I've seen or heard, it looks, good things are coming from what I can see. Let's hope good things continue to come. The whole GDKP thing, we'll see what happens with that. Again, my personal opinion, I just don't like it. It it just stresses me out. I don't know why, it just does. I don't like the whole idea of having to do that kind of stuff. But again, there's people out there that do, and that's what people rely on to get their gears, GDKP. So it might suck for them. But Blizzard are trying something. Again, probably not the best thing. We'll find out when Phase 8, let's see, I did it again. On the 8th, when Phase 2 comes out. Um, but I'm excited. If there's anything else between now and the next 3 days where they announce anything else, like possibly to do with the runes or something, I'll try and cover that. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's came by, watched this video with me. We both I hope we're all excited. I know I'm excited. I'm working on the 8th, but as soon as I finish work, I'm hopping straight on. Probably landing in a queue, but I'll wait in that queue. We'll see what happens. But yeah, again, I appreciate you all. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, the like button, and if you want to catch me live, I also stream on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. So take your pick. Recently started multi-streaming, so I can meet more of you guys. So yeah, you can catch me live there. Other than that, I appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Treat yourself if you haven't already. And I'll see you all next time.